Every year, there is a moment at Ascot when time seems to slow. The sound of hooves on the road, the quiet rustle of anticipation in the crowd, and the sense that history itself is passing by. For 200 years, the Royal Procession has been more than tradition. It has been a living reminder of who we are, where we come from, and how deeply kindness and respect are woven into British life. On this particular day, beneath the soft summer sky, something unexpected happened. Something small, almost invisible at first. Yet it would leave a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it, proving that even during grand celebrations, humanity always shines brightest. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps Royal Guard Stories continue bringing you meaningful and inspiring stories from the heart of tradition. The morning of Royal Ascot buzzed with quiet excitement. Families arrived early, dressed in their finest, hats carefully balanced, shoes polished. Children holding hands with grandparents who remembered coming here decades ago. For many, this was not just a day at the races. It was a shared memory passed down through generations. As the crowd gathered along the route, the Royal Guards took their positions. They stood tall and composed, uniforms immaculate, faces calm and focused. To some, they seemed distant, almost untouchable. But to those who looked closer, there was pride in their eyes. A pride rooted in service, duty, and respect for the people they stood before. The royal procession began as it always does, with elegance and grace. Carriages moved forward in perfect rhythm, drawing warm applause from the crowd. People waved flags, children sat on their parents' shoulders, and older spectators smiled softly, feeling the weight of history in that very moment. Among the crowd stood Margaret, a 72-year-old widow from Berkshire. She had attended Ascot many times with her late husband, who had loved every detail of the tradition. This year, it was her first time returning alone. She clutched his old program in her handbag, unsure if she would make it through the day without him. As the procession passed, the emotion became overwhelming. Margaret's knees weakened, and she stumbled slightly, dropping her program onto the pavement. For a brief second, she felt invisible, lost in the sea of people and sound. That was when one of the royal guards noticed. Breaking neither formation nor dignity, the guard stepped forward just enough to retrieve the fallen program. He bent carefully, lifted it from the ground, and returned it to Margaret with a respectful nod. No words were spoken. None were needed. Margaret's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of gratitude. In that simple gesture, she felt seen, honored, respected. The guard returned to his position, posture restored, face once again composed, yet something had changed in the air around them. Nearby, a young boy watched the moment closely. He tugged at his father's sleeve and whispered, "Dad, he's kind." The father smiled, nodding, realizing that his son had just learned a lesson far greater than any history book could teach. As the procession continued, the crowd seemed quieter, more reflective. People weren't just watching royalty pass by. They were witnessing the values that had carried this tradition through 2 centuries. Kindness, respect, duty, humanity. For the guards, this was simply part of their role. Not just to protect tradition, but to serve the people it belongs to. For the crowd, it was a reminder that greatness is not always found in grandeur, but in small acts done with sincerity. By the end of the day, as the carriages disappeared and the cheers faded, Margaret stood a little taller. She held her program close, her heart lighter than when she arrived. She would return home with a new memory, one she would treasure as deeply as the old ones. The royal procession at Ascot has endured for 200 years because it represents more than ceremony. It represents a nation built on shared moments, quiet dignity, and everyday kindness. And as we move forward into the future, may we remember this. Traditions survive not just through rules and rituals, but through compassion, through noticing one another, through choosing kindness, even when no one expects it. If a single respectful gesture can touch a heart in a crowd of thousands, imagine what kindness can do when we carry it into our own lives every single day.